Hey guys, welcome to another week of online learning. And so we're going to be talking about what you need to do for your English class this week. As always, you can find the week's videos on here. And if you want to find my contact information, when classes, all of that good stuff, that is on here. And you can see for this week, we are on week 7, right? And these are going to be your 3 assignments. So you have your weekly Bellringer question, you have an Ed Puzzle video on the kid president, and then you're going to have a what I learned story. You're going to get, hopefully these assignments should be taking you less and less time. So you should be getting shorter assignments from your teachers so that you have some time to do the makeup work before we end our classes next week. Right, so we'll be posting grades of met and not met for each of the weeks of online learning. And then, so it might say that you passed for the first week, but you didn't pass for the second week. So then you'll go back to the second week and find your class assignments and then make sure, oh, did I do those? Right. Also for next week, it's going to be a short week and we have Monday off. So we're not going to have school on Monday. It's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday. So after our classes have wrapped up for this week, I'm going to update this schedule with the dates so you know when our classes are going to be for next week. All right, so let's get to our Bellringer. So our Bellringer for May 19th. When do you think school should start back in the fall? In July, August, or September? Should schools be done in person or online? So far, the Kentucky state has talked about that schools might be starting at a different time for next year. They could start in July, they could start in August, or they could start in September, right? So tell me what you think. So you could say school should start in, and then tell me which month you picked because, and make sure you give a reason for why you think school should start then. The next question was, question number 2, should schools be done in person or online, right? So you can say we should go to school, and you might pick in person or online, right? Because, and tell me which one you think would be the best for us in the fall if, we still have the virus going around, if people are still getting sick, right? Obviously, if everyone's better, which we don't know, maybe they will be, right, then we'll just have normal school. But if people are still sick, do you think we should try to keep doing online like we're doing now? Or do you think we should go in person, but you have to be, at desks 6 feet away from each other? You cannot touch hands. You have to wear a mask, right? Do you think that's better than the online school? So really think about those 2 options and which one will be better, right? When you're done with that, you guys have an Ed Puzzle video for this week. And so for this video, you guys are going to watch a boy named Kid President, right? He calls himself the Kid President, and he gives a little pep talk to teachers and students. And as you watch, there's going to be these 6 questions that you're going to answer as you go along. So do your best to answer those questions. And he kind of makes you think about, what do we learn from school? What's important in life? And so as you're thinking about those questions after you watch that video, you're going to write a what you've learned in life story. So there are a few examples here of the types of stories you can write. And so you're going to read over these 2 first, and then you're going to fill out the My Story memory chart. So you can see, when did you first realize your family loves you? When did you learn that it is better to tell the truth? Who was the first person to make you feel invincible or like really strong, like nothing could hurt you? When did you realize that you could be anything you want to be? When did you learn that life isn't always fair? Who taught you that sometimes things don't work out the way you want them to? When did you learn that you can't always get what you want? How did you learn about the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus or any other like Easter Bunny made up kind of characters? Has anyone ever tested your faith, so made you doubt in your religion or in God or other things that you believed in? Have you ever done something that you regret, that you wish you had not done? And what did you learn from that moment? So those are just some ideas of stories. You don't have to pick one from the list. You can come up with your own, right? So as you go through, you're going to try to come up with one story about something that you learned in your life, and you're going to fill in the blank for each one. Now, if you are on a Chromebook or you have trouble typing on the PDF, you can open up a Google Doc and just number it from 1 to 10 and just type your answer on there and attach it. Either way with me is fine. So number 1 is just, what's the story? So a blank is the event I'm describing. So you could say, the time I lost my tooth is the event, or time I fell off my bike, or whatever it is your story is about that you learned something, right? It happened when I was, maybe it happened when you were 5 or 10 years old. Maybe it happened when you were living in another country, right? So that would be number 3. Where did it happen? Describe the place. So you can say the country and the city. Did it happen outside? Did it happen on the street? Did it happen in your house? Right? So write those details here. And then this one is was in the story. So you could blank were the people involved. So you could say mom, brother, friend, the names of the people, whoever was in the story, right? And then this one, you're going to imagine what you were like on that day and come up with 5 adjectives, right? Were you tall or short? Were you funny? Were you silly? Right? So try to come up with words to describe yourself on that day. And then this one is about your feelings. Number 6, when I think back on this day, it makes me feel sad or happy, angry, right? How did you feel on that day? Number 7, I would want to tell people that before this day, I thought that, so if you pick like the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus, maybe before you thought that they were real, and then after you didn't think they were real. So how did your thinking change, right? What was it before that day happened, right? Now I know that, and then you'll tell me what you learned from that story. And then for 9 and 10, you're going to have to look at this chart. So this chart says values, and so here are some examples of different values you can have, things that you believe in that you think are important. So this person said they believe that you don't break a promise, that you do the right thing, you're respectful, right? That you try to be understanding, that you care, right? That you learn from failure, that you communicate and talk to people, share ideas, right? That you connect with others, that you listen to different people. So think about the things that you believe in, right? And that should hopefully help you with number 9 and 10. So some things that were important to you back then were, you could say it used to be that your friends were really important, but then in 10 you might say now that your family is more important, or maybe it's the other way around, right? So things that you cared a lot about at the beginning of the story, right? Maybe at the beginning of the story you thought that your shoes were the most important thing, but at the end of the story you learned that you care more about your sister's feelings, right? So however your thinking changed over the story, that's what you're going to be talking about in 9 and 10. So hopefully that helps you out. That's the last of what you're doing for this week and that's your last big assignment. It can be a little bit tricky, so if you have any questions for me, I'll see you in class or you can come to office hours, whatever is best for you. Otherwise, I'll see you next week for our last class. Okay, bye. Have a good week.